Fixed or not? Boundary and territory. Was it fixed or not? Not fixed. What was the reason? What was the reason for not fixing of the territory? War. Policy of territorial expansion. That is a policy of territorial expansion. Second reason, disloyalty of feudal governors. They always entered into conspiracy. This is the main reason that in India also you can see that so many wars were fought at Panipat. Why only at Panipat? This was the question asked by UPSC. And out of many reasons, one of the reason was the feudal structure of India, because the feudal governor of Punjab always entered into conspiracy with the outsiders. So these feudal lords were always, they were not so much loyal to the king, and they always entered into conspiracy, and that's why this whole system was decentralized. If you will not understand this church system, this state system, this feudal system, then going forward you cannot connect with the rise of nationalism. We have to understand the rise of nationalism also here only. This system was a decentralized, not centralized. One more reason was there. Boundary and territory was a changing because of the policy of territorial expansion was there. And wars were there and disloyalty of the feudals. Second, was this a centralized or decentralized system? Centralized or decentralized? Decentralization, but that doesn't mean that it was democracy. It was a decentralized. Why it was decentralized? Because of power division between king and feudals. Right? Feudals controlled very two important powers. What were they? Feudals controlled two important powers. What were they? One was a military and the other one was the revenue. And if military power is with the feudal and revenue power is also with the feudal, then who is more dependent? King is more dependent or feudal is more dependent? So king was only a nominal power, and the real powers were with whom? The real powers were with the feudals. King was just the nominal person. Please tell. So that's why this system was decentralized in nature. That's why this system was decentralized in nature. Then, was there any sense of nationalism? Nationalism, patriotism, or slave loyalty? You have to understand, or this system was based on nationalism, this system was based on patriotism, or this system was based on just loyalty towards master. Slave loyalty. People were treated as slaves and they were supposed to be loyal. Now this understanding will become really very dynamic. This loyalty, if you understand what is loyalty, you will understand nationalism also, you will understand patriotism also. Loyal. Are you wondering, Munna Bhai? You have seen this series, and what is that series name? Mirzapur. कहते हैं ना, they use the word loyal. In Mirzapur, they use the word loyal. So loyalty towards whom? So it was supposed that king will be loyal towards church. Feudals will be loyal towards king, correct? And these serfs, small peasants, farmers, they will be loyal towards the feudals, blacksmiths, barbers, they will be loyal towards feudals. But this loyalty is not giving them any identity. The peasants are loyal to the feudals, but they are not getting any, no identity is not there. Nationalism is a sense of loyalty which gives you identity also. Now, here you will see such a nice explanation of the nationalism. Are you understanding what I am saying? In the old church system, also, people were fighting for the king, people were fighting for the feudal lord, and there was a hierarchy of loyalty. There was a hierarchy of loyalty. Are you understanding this? But this hierarchy of loyalty was not developing any sense of identity. This was not creating any identity. For the first time, nationalism gave a sense of identity in return of loyalty. Understood? So that's why when there was the rise of there was a rise of nationalism, if you will say. So nationalism is also in Western secularism, in Western nationalism का जो इवोल्यूशन हुआ है वो फेजेस में हुआ है. समझ रहे हो मेरी बात को? जब कैपिटलिस्ट लोग आए तो उन्होंने कहा कि आपको ये जो लॉयल हो, ये सारे लॉयल्टी के बदले में क्या मिलेगा? एक आइडेंटिटी मिलेगी कि यू आर बिलोंगिंग टू दिस प्लेस, यू आर नेटिव ऑफ दिस प्लेस. So nationalism also there is loyalty and there is, but this loyalty is giving you identity. All of you understood this? Any problem? Ask. So there was no nationalism, and now you have to understand that why there was no nationalism. Why there was no nationalism? Why there was no nationalism? First, because of the changing borders and boundaries. No person never developed any sense of loyalty or attachment towards land. Feeling of unity कभी नहीं आया. Why? Feeling of unity and commonness never came. Why? Because of changing demography with addition and subtraction of territories. Try to understand this. When I am saying that this is one empire of king 1, this is empire of king 2. Now king 1 attacked king 2. If and king 1 won. So now all the people, all the subjects of king 2, they will become the subjects of king 1, and all the subjects of king 1 will mix with these subjects. So that means there is a, whenever there is a plus and a minus of territory, then there is a plus and a minus of community also, culture also. है कि नहीं? So now people, subjects of king 2 will become the subjects of king 1. Community of king 2 will become the community of king 1. Culture of king 2 will become the culture of king 1. Are you understanding? बोलो. Just ऐसा नहीं कि एक ही दो reason है. Many reasons were there. First reason, that boundary was not fixed. Territories were not fixed. So if territory is not fixed, you will never develop an association with this territory. Association in every nationalism, there are many emotions. Emotion of unity is there. Emotion of unity is there. Emotion of commonness is there. Emotion of loyalty is there. ऐसे समझो, each and everything. Unity, commonness, and loyalty is also there. ठीक है, but this loyalty is towards the state. तो state तो create हुआ नहीं था. Commonness क्यों नहीं था? Because of changing population, society and community. With every territorial expansion, society changed, community changed, population changed. So when population is changing, their culture is changing, their society is changing, so how you will develop the feeling of commonness? आई बात समझ में? Please tell me. और चूंकि कॉमननेस की फीलिंग नहीं है तो यूनिटी भी नहीं आएगी. और लॉयल्टी क्यों नहीं है टुवर्ड्स द स्टेट सिस्टम? लॉयल्टी क्यों नहीं है? क्योंकि एसोसिएशन विद द लैंड नहीं है, लिबर्टी नहीं है, इक्वालिटी नहीं है, फ्रेटर्निटी नहीं है. So why you will love in nationalism? There is love also. This loyalty is basically coming from love, attachment. This love and attachment is coming from natural rights. It is coming from natural rights. It is coming from fundamental rights. It is coming from liberty, equality, fraternity, and especially the right over the property. Since there was no right over property, people and subjects were not given liberty, equality, and there was a great hierarchy in the system. Therefore, there was no sense or feeling of nationalism. This emotion and this notion was missing. आगे बात समझ में? तो how many reasons you will put? Reason number 1, territorial expansion led to not only plus and minus of territory, but it also led to plus and minus of society, culture, and community, because of which the feeling of commonness couldn't come. And feeling of commonness is not there. Apart from that, you don't get freedom also, you don't get equality also, you don't get right to property also. So you do not develop a loyalty towards the land. है कि नहीं? So many things, when they are coming together, they become nationalism. You start loving your community also. So why you start loving your community? Because you are commonly sharing the property. You are commonly sharing the property. There is a common share of property. And the culture is common. The customs are common. So many things are there which develops a feeling of commonness and loyalty towards the community, loyalty towards the land. So this is just not the loyalty towards But main thing is loyalty towards the land and loyalty towards the community. You will see later in 1983 when Benedict Anderson said that a case of imagining nationalism, that nationalism is not a real emotion. Even if it is an emotion, it is not a real emotion. You will see later in 1983, there was a scholar whose name was Benedict Anderson. And he said that people of Bihar have never met with the people of Tamil Nadu. So how they will, why their Biharis and Tamilians will love each other? Why Gujaratis and Biharis will love each other? Why Punjabis and Telugus will love each other when they don't know? So how you are saying that nationalism is a feeling of commonness and commonness of culture and commonness? कहाँ से आ रहा है ये? Commonness कहाँ है? जब तक when you don't live together, how you will feel that you are common? Even the experiences are not so much common. So that's why he said that nationalism is not a real emotion. The bourgeois class, the capitalist class, creates a false consciousness in your mind that you all are one. Today we are going to discuss so many things on this nationalism. He convinces you, he helps you in imagining. So you imagine that Punjabis and Tamilians are one. But reality is that they have never lived together. So how they will develop a feeling of oneness without living together? So many scholars have given their own interpretation. But the first wave of nationalism, which came, when it came after the decline of the church system. आई बात समझ में? And king, feudals, serfs, barbers, they all were loyal to the church. So church was a supreme, not the nation. So that's why there was no nationalism. So how many reasons हो गया? Church was the supreme authority. And that's why everybody was supposed to be loyal towards the church. There is no question of any other higher loyalty in comparison to the church. So please note down that why nationalism, why there was no nationalism. Please let us summarize this. Why there was no nationalism? Why there was no nationalism? Reason number one, territorial expansion. No fixed territory. No fixed territory. So therefore, people do not have image of any fixed territory. Second, changing society and culture along with addition and subtraction of territory. Changing society and culture along with addition and subtraction of territory in the course of territorial expression. In the course of territorial expansion. Third, kingdoms used to marry with each other. So marital alliances were there. So when alliances hota tha, king 1 married to the daughter of king 2, then what will happen? So in a dowry, they were giving their territory only. They were giving the people only. तो वो डाउरी सिस्टम था. तो एक और रीजन था marital alliances, because of which people, because of which community was, of which entire community who became the part of dowry, became a part of dowry. So therefore again you are not able to develop identity. तो देखो नेशनलिज्म का फंडामेंटल प्रिंसिपल क्या है? आइडेंटिटी. आइडेंटिटी नहीं डेवलप हो पा रही है कम्युनिटी में. कम्युनिटी में आइडेंटिटी डेवलप हो ही नहीं पा रही है. एक कॉमन आइडेंटिटी, फिक्स्ड आइडेंटिटी और स्टेबल आइडेंटिटी डेवलप नहीं हो पा रही है. क्यों नहीं हो पा रहा है? क्योंकि उनका लैंड फिक्स नहीं है. अभी शादी हो जाएगी, फ्रांस के राजा की शादी है, जो ब्रिटेन की रानी से शादी हो गई, तो दहेज में ब्रिटेन के जो लोग हैं दहेज में अपना एक हिस्सा दे देंगे फ्रांस को. तो ना केवल टेरिटरी ट्रांसफर होता है बल्कि साथ में जितने लोग, डाउरी एग्जिस्टेड इन यूरोप, यस डाउरी एग्जिस्टेड. तो केवल लैंड ही डाउरी में नहीं जाता है, वहां पे जो लोग हैं वो भी डाउरी में चले जाते हैं. यानी जो लोग पहले ब्रिटेन में रह रहे थे, अब डाउरी की वजह से वो फ्रेंच किंग के सब्जेक्ट बन गए. तो सब्जेक्ट की जो आइडेंटिटी है वो ट्रांसफरेबल है. द आइडेंटिटी ऑफ द सब्जेक्ट इज ट्रांसफरेबल इन नेचर, इट इज नॉट फिक्स्ड. तो सेंट्रल पॉइंट इज व्हाट? आइडेंटिटी फिक्स नहीं हो पा रही है. आइडेंटिटी फिक्स नहीं हो पा रही है. There is no fixation of identity because of the marital alliances. The people are becoming, the entire community is becoming the part of dowry. Because of the territorial expansions also, the people's loyalty towards the king is changing. Today you are loyal to King A, but tomorrow if King A is defeated, now you will become the subject of King B. So now your loyalty will shift towards the King B. So you are not able to develop your identity. Am I clear or not? समझ रहे हो? कितने रीजंस हो गए? रीजन नंबर 1, टेरिटोरियल एक्सपेंशन, नो फिक्स्ड, changing society and culture along with addition and subtraction of territory in the course of territorial expansion, royal marital alliances because of which entire community became a part of dowry. Fourth, there was no right to property given to common subjects, and hence they never developed any attachment with land. Fifth, they never developed attachment with the community as community was changing, as a community was changing. They never developed attachment with the community because community was changing. They never developed attachment with the land because they had no right on the land. So आइडेंटिटी नहीं बन पा रही. हम कौन है, हमारी जमीन क्या है, हमारा समाज क्या है, हमारा राजा कौन है, हमारा किंग कौन है, हमारा मालिक कौन है, हमको किसके लिए मरना है, कुछ भी फिक्स नहीं है. आज किंग ए के लिए मर रहे हैं, परसों किंग बी के लिए मरना होगा. कुछ फिक्स नहीं है, फिक्स है ही नहीं. आ रही बात समझ? अंडरस्टैंडिंग? प्लीज रेस्पॉन्ड. Only Anand is responding. Aniket, identity is the main thing. Identity is not coming. Identity of commonness is not there. Identity of fixed loyalty is not there. You are not loyal. Your loyalty में हमेशा एक फिक्सेशन होता है. इस लॉयल्टी में फिक्सेशन है ही नहीं. जमीन आपकी है ही नहीं, लोग आपके हैं ही नहीं. लोग बदल रहे हैं, जमीन बदल रही है, राजा बदल रहा है. तो कैसे फीलिंग आएगी कि आप कौन हो? लेकिन अगर जमीन फिक्स हो जाए, लोग फिक्स हो जाए, राजा फिक्स हो जाए, तो आइडेंटिटी डेवलप होगी कि नहीं? मिस्टर गौड़ा, आर यू अंडरस्टैंडिंग? Earlier nothing was fixed. Your society is not fixed, your community is not fixed, your culture is not fixed, your land is not fixed, your settlement is not fixed. Are you understanding this? Some of my life I lived in Bihar, some of my life I lived in Jharkhand, some of my life I lived in Delhi. How I will develop an identity that what am I? Sometimes when people ask to me that you are from which place, then I become confused. I don't know. For a while, I don't know what to say. Should I say that I belong to Delhi, or should I say that I belong to Bihar, or should I say that I belong to Jharkhand? This is an identity crisis. This is a severe identity crisis because of the globalization. Your identity is not getting fixed. Settlement नहीं हो पा रहा है. Right? You are learning different languages. When I was in Bihar, there was a different language. When I was in Jharkhand, there was a different language. When I went to Ranchi, there was a different language. There was a different culture. There different community. When I came to Delhi, there's everything is totally different. What is my culture? What is my community? What is my language? I am not able to answer all these questions. Are you understanding this? And this was the situation during the church state and the old state and the feudal. So one more reason was the church was enjoying supreme loyalty. Was enjoying supreme loyalty. Church was enjoying supreme loyalty. Okay. Church was enjoying supreme loyalty. This was also one of the reasons. Right to property was another reason. Liberty, equality, and fraternity. Last point. There was no liberty, equality, and fraternity, which is the essence of nationalism, which is the essence of commonness, which is the essence of commonness. The whole society was stratified. Liberty, equality, fraternity, which is the essence of commonness, and from this commonness only, and from this commonness, essence of commonness, which is the fountainhead of, which is the fountain head of loyalty, fountainhead of identity, fountainhead of identity. commonness नहीं होगा तो identity नहीं आएगी, और identity नहीं होगा तो फिर loyalty नहीं आएगी. So, and the whole society was stratified. The whole society was stratified, and it was totally a vertically arranged society. Vertically arranged society in both political and economic terms. In both political and economic terms. So if the whole society is divided in political terms also, in economic terms also, so from where you will get the feeling of a fraternity, commonness, equality? जब ये सब होगा ही नहीं तो commonness कहाँ से है? आई बात समझ में? Please tell. No liberty, no equality, no fraternity. Subjects were treated as slaves. So there was a very, very strong hierarchy in both political hierarchy, economic hierarchy, and social hierarchy. In no matter. So if you are politically down in the hierarchy, then you will be economically also down in the hierarchy. You will be socially also down in the hierarchy. So such a stratified polity, economy, and society that there can never be unity and oneness. This is one of the main reason that Indians also lacked this sense of commonness because of the divided society. If the society is divided, then how can you be one, which is the essence of unity? तो परमानेंट सेटलमेंट नहीं हुआ, उसकी वजह से आपके अंदर में कॉमननेस नहीं आई, आइडेंटिटी नहीं आई। और यूनिटी क्यों नहीं आया? क्योंकि सोसाइटी इक्वल नहीं था। आई बात समझ में? यूनिटी क्यों नहीं आ रहा है? क्योंकि सोसाइटी इक्वल नहीं है, सबको इक्वल, कहीं पर भी इक्वलिटी नहीं है। एटलीस्ट इंडिया में ऐसा था कि किसी किसी मामले में आपको इक्वल, सोसाइटी डिवाइडेड जरूर थी, लेकिन एक हॉरिजेंटल इक्वालिटी का सेंस था। देयर वाज अ सेंस ऑफ हॉरिजेंटल इक्वालिटी इन सम मैटर्स लाइक रिलीजन। आर यू अंडरस्टैंडिंग दिस? In some matters, whether you are king or whether you are subject, whether you are rich or whether you are poor, there will be equality. Not in all matters, but in some matters. Are you able to understand? Society was stratified, divided, and separated. But in India, we all know that in many religious activities cannot take place without the lower caste. Last rites cannot be performed without lower caste in India. Do you know this? A lower caste person is of very, very prime importance at the cemetery, स्मशान घाट में, बहुत important है। तो हमारे यहाँ सोसाइटी भले ही डिवाइडेड था, लेकिन जिस अकॉर्डेंस में सोसाइटी डिवाइडेड थी, उसी अकॉर्डेंस में पॉलिटिकल हायरार्की भी होगा, जरूरी नहीं है। Like Brahmins were at the top of the social hierarchy, but Brahmins were not at the top of the political hierarchy. Brahmins were not at the top of the economic hierarchy. Are you understanding this? प्लीज, सब्जेक्ट्स के पास कोई राइट लिबर्टी नहीं है, नेचुरल राइट्स नहीं है, सिटीजन्स के पास नेचुरल राइट्स है। समझ रहे हो क्या बोल रहा हूं? इंडिया में, इन इंडिया, those, if you are at the top of the social hierarchy, that doesn't mean you will be at the top of the political hierarchy. That doesn't mean you will be at the top of the economic hierarchy. Brahmins were at the top of social hierarchy, but Brahmins were not the rulers, and Brahmins were not the richest person in the society. So at economic hierarchy, the Brahmins were at the bottom. No matter in social hierarchy, the Brahmins were at the top. Are you understanding this? How many of you understood this? So somewhere a hidden equality was there in the Indian society. There was a hidden equality in the whole Indian system. There was a hidden equality that Brahmins will be at the top of the society, but that doesn't mean they will have the political power. आया समझ में? But this system was not present in the Europe society. Those who are at the top of the political hierarchy, they will be only at the top of the social hierarchy. They will be only top at the economic hierarchy. ठीक है? And this was so much, if there is so much of hierarchy and corresponding hierarchies in all the three areas of society, social, economic, and political, then how you will develop a feeling of unity? You can never convince a slave that this land, that this everything belongs to you. But in India, a Brahmin will convince a SC, ST that this land belongs to you, this nation belongs to you, you should die for this land, you should die for this country, you should die for this society. For whom you should die? You will die when you know what is your identity. तो इंडिया में भी इनइक्वालिटी था, लेकिन आइडेंटिटी थी। Indian society was also divided, but There was a hidden equality which gave identity to the common people. In fact, SCST also. Is it right or not? Are you understanding this? ठीक है ना? Now what happened? Many waves will come, which will lead to the first wave of nationalism. So we will see today first wave of nationalism. What is the first wave of nationalism? First wave of nationalism was actually it was a wave against the it was a wave against church, right? And this wave was against feudalism, right? And what happened? The trader class motivated the king. So this was a church, right? This was king, this was the feudals. So church was enjoying a horizontal hierarchy with the king. King was too much under the influence of the church, right? Now what happened with the rise of this Renaissance and all? क्या हो गया? इंडस्ट्रियल रिवॉल्यूशन की वजह से फ्यूडल्स जो रेवेन्यू कलेक्शन देते थे किंग को, एक नया क्लास आ गया जो था ट्रेडर क्लास. एंड ट्रेडर ऑल्सो स्टार्टेड गिविंग ए टैक्सेस टू द किंग. अब फ्यूडल्स में और ट्रेडर में, फ्यूडल जो रेवेन्यू किंग को देता था और ट्रेडर जो टैक्स किंग को देता था, इसमें ये ट्रेडर का टैक्स ज्यादा बड़ा था या फ्यूडल का रेवेन्यू? विद द चेंजिंग टाइम, with the industrial revolution, or we can say with the modernization, traders will give more tax to the king. Bolo, yes or no? Traders will give more tax to the king. So now king will be more under the influence of feudals or more under the influence of traders? More under the influence of traders. Now king was basically influenced, was more under the influence of traders. ठीक है? And that's why they wanted that the power of feudals should be transferred to whom? Transferred to the king. And that's why these traders united whom? United all the peasants, all the serfs, all the barbers, all the blacksmiths. So all these small level people, these slave people who were under the control of feudals, these traders motivated them that you should do revolution against these feudals. So first wave of nationalism was actually against the feudals. And these traders convinced all these blacksmiths, barbers, peasants, serfs that we all are equal. A false sense of equality was indoctrinated in these peasants, poor laborers, poor blacksmiths, poor barbers. So the revolution which took place against the feudal was known as the first wave of nationalism. आई बात समझ में है कि नहीं? And that's why these traders, influenced with the help of these common men, these traders removed the institution of the feudals, and also they were against the church, and they made king too powerful. So nationalism was a tool to give more power to the king. Nationalism was a tool to give more power to the king. Please write it in the first wave. Nationalism was a tool devised by traders to unite to unite serfs, peasants, subjects, and other subjects to revolt against revolt against feudals and church, so that all power is transferred to king, who will protect the subjects in return. The subjects in return. ठीक है. हाँ, इनिशियली द किंग, जो ये ट्रेडर्स नेशनलिज्म था, और ट्रेडर्स ने बहुत ही सावधानी से ये जितने स्लेव्स थे, सब्जेक्ट्स थे, इनके मन में एक आइडेंटिटी की फीलिंग डाल दी कि अगर तुम फ्यूडल्स को हटा दोगे और ये चर्च को खत्म कर दोगे और किंग के प्रति लॉयल हो जाओगे तो ये टेरिटरी तुम्हें मिलेगी, तुम्हारा अब तुम्हारी जगह पे कोई और आकर के नहीं रहेगा. तो ट्रेडर्स के इन्फ्लुएंस ने किंग ने सारा पावर लिया. ट्रेडर्स के इन्फ्लुएंस में किंग को पावरफुल बनाया गया, और किंग को इस पावर से क्या करना था? टेरिटरी को डिफाइन करना था, पीपल को डिफाइन करना था कि अगर आज आपने इस फ्यूडल्स को हटा दिया, चर्च को हटा दिया, तो ये किंग ताह जिंदगी आपकी रक्षा करेगा, आपके जमीन की रक्षा करेगा, आपके लैंड की रक्षा करेगा, आपके लोगों की रक्षा करेगा, आपको एक आइडेंटिटी देगा. तो ये ट्रेडर्स ही चाहते थे कि लैंड बाउंड्री फिक्स हो जाए, टेरिटरी फिक्स हो जाए, है कि नहीं, और कम्युनिटी भी फिक्स हो जाए, कम्युनिटी भी फिक्स हो जाए. राइट, वेरी गुड. ये कब हुआ? लगभग 14th सेंचुरी 15th सेंचुरी के आसपास में ये फर्स्ट वेव ऑफ नेशनलिज्म आया. और इस नेशनलिज्म को लाने में मैकियावेलियन जो थॉट था वो बहुत पावरफुल था. बाद में इसको हॉब्स ने भी सपोर्ट किया कि किंग अगर पावरफुल होगा तो, यानी नेशनलिज्म क्या है? एक तरीके का टूल था जिससे ट्रेडर्स ने किंग को पावरफुल बनाया, और क्या हुआ, और इसी वजह से एक वो पावर सेंटर बन पाया. तो अगर आपको पावर को कंसंट्रेट करना है तो नेशनलिज्म की जरूरत पड़ेगी. अगर आपको पावर को कंसंट्रेट करना है तो नेशनलिज्म इन्होंने क्यों लाया? टू कंसंट्रेट एंड सेंट्रलाइज पावर. इसके पहले पावर सेंट्रलाइज्ड नहीं था. अगर ये सेंट्रलाइज हो जाएगा तो क्या हो जाएगा? एक डिफाइंड टेरिटरी मिल जाएगी, डिफाइंड पॉपुलेशन होगा, ठीक है. और डिफाइंड टेरिटरी हो गई, डिफाइंड पॉपुलेशन हो गया, तो इसकी वजह से लॉयलिटी भी आएगा, लॉयलिटी ऑफ पीपल टुवर्ड्स स्टेट. तो इनफैक्ट ट्रेडर्स नेशनलिज्म को यूज करके इन्होंने स्टेट बनाया, इसीलिए नाम क्या है? नेशन स्टेट. आई बात समझ में? क्योंकि स्टेट था ही नहीं, फिक्स टेरिटरी थी ही नहीं, फिक्स कम्युनिटी था ही नहीं, राइट, फिक्स पावर भी फिक्स नहीं था, सोवरेनिटी भी फिक्स नहीं थी, तो यानी स्टेट की एग्जिस्टेंस नहीं थी. तो बेसिकली फ्रांस में, ब्रिटेन में नेशन स्टेट का कॉन्सेप्ट है. मतलब ट्रेडर्स के नेशनलिज्म की फीलिंग की वजह से स्टेट को डेवलप किया गया. सो स्टेट इज द प्रोडक्ट ऑफ, प्लीज राइट, स्टेट इज द प्रोडक्ट ऑफ फीलिंग ऑफ nationalism introduced by traders and percolated to masses, यानी ट्रेडर्स ने से ये मासेस में ट्रांसफर हुआ है, फीलिंग ऑफ नेशनलिज्म। तो ट्रेडर्स ने सिर्फ मासेस को मोटिवेट किया कि ये फीलिंग आनी चाहिए। और मासेस क्यों मोटिवेट हो गए? क्योंकि मासेस को भी आइडेंटिटी क्राइसिस थी, फ्यूडल से और चर्च से वो भी मुक्ति पाना चाहते थे। तो इस नेशनलिज्म ने किंग को पावरफुल बनाया और मासेस को भी लिबरेट किया, मासेस को भी लिबरेट किया। तभी यहां वर्ड है लिबर्टी, इक्वालिटी और फ्रेटर्निटी। पहली बार ऐसा हुआ कि पॉलिटिकल हायरार्की, सोशल हायरार्की और इकोनॉमिक हायरार्की, तीनों जो हायरार्की है वो क्रॉस। पहले क्या था कि जो पॉलिटिक्स में ऊपर होगा वही इकोनॉमिक्स में भी ऊपर होगा, वही सोसाइटी में भी ऊपर होगा। लेकिन ट्रेडर्स ने ये रिलेशन, हायरार्की का रिलेशन चेंज कर दिया। ट्रेडर्स ने मासेस को कन्विंस कर दिया कि चाहे कुछ भी हो जाए, भले ही आप गरीब हो, आपके पास पैसा नहीं है, लेकिन कानून सबके लिए बराबर होगा। रूल ऑफ लॉ लाया गया। हमारे पास जरूर पैसा है, लेकिन इसका यह मतलब नहीं हुआ कि हम सोशल रैंकिंग में भी ऊपर होंगे, हम पॉलिटिकल में भी ऊपर होंगे। तो कहीं ना कहीं मासेस को ट्रेडर्स ने अपने साथ ज्वाइन करवा लिया कि हम में और तुम में सिर्फ इकोनॉमिक डिफरेंसेस है, और इकोनॉमिक डिफरेंसेस की वजह से हमारे और तुम्हारे में पॉलिटिकल डिफरेंसेस नहीं होगा। एक किंग को पावर में रहने के लिए उतनी ही जरूरत तुम्हारी है जितनी मेरी है। यानी पॉलिटिकल मैटर्स में हम सब बराबर हैं, सोशल लाइफ में कोई डिस्क्रिमिनेशन नहीं होगी। यानी ये सबसे अच्छी बात है कैपिटलिज्म की, कि वो इकोनॉमिक डिफरेंसेस के बेसिस पर सोशल डिफरेंसेस मोटिवेट नहीं करता है। एम आई क्लियर टू ऑल ऑफ यू? इकोनॉमिक डिफरेंसेस जरूर हो, but economic difference will not become the reason for political exploitation or social exploitation. You may be rich, but at social level everybody is equal. In social life everybody will be equal. In political life everybody will be equal. Am I clear or not? समझ रहे हो? रौनक महाजन सर, did this first wave of nationalism help the trading class in taxation and expansion like power distribution? Of course. If masses will feel more, so you have to understand, and why this trading class is giving a sense of equality to the masses, because then only the masses will be ready to work for the trading class, will go to the factory and will work as laborers there, because they are convinced that you are relatively less exploited in factories in comparison with the farming field. So, and moreover, the feudal will never give you the equal treatment, but this capitalist, you may be the employee of capitalist, but the capitalist will not hurt your means he will give a feeling of, he will dine with you, he will wine with you, he will give a complete sense of equality in all other matters, right? So that mass production can take place. And mass production cannot take place until and unless there is a mass loyalty and acceptance of the production system. तो ये नेशनलिज्म यहां से आया है कि कहीं ना कहीं कैपिटलिस्ट में और गरीब लोगों में भी कहीं जाकर के ये लोग इक्वल हैं। समझ रहे हो? भले ही आपके पास में पॉकेट में बहुत पैसा हो, लेकिन जज के सामने में सब बराबर है। वहां कोई अमीर नहीं है, वहां कोई गरीब नहीं है। क्लैरिटी आई? क्लैरिटी आ रहा है या नहीं आ रहा है? तो ये फर्स्ट वेव ऑफ नेशनलिज्म था जो ट्रेडर क्लास ने डेवलप किया। और ट्रेडर क्लास ने ये डेवलप किया किसके मन में? सर्व्स के मन में, सब्जेक्ट्स के मन में। और वो भी क्यों कन्विंस हो गए? क्योंकि वो आइडेंटिटी क्राइसिस, उनको कोई सेंस ऑफ इक्वालिटी पहले कभी किसी ने दिया नहीं था। और ये अगेंस्ट फ्यूडलिज्म था, ये अगेंस्ट चर्च सिस्टम था। आई होप नाउ आई एम क्वाइट क्लियर टू ऑल ऑफ यू। right? Now what will happen? Now what will happen? Now we see the second wave of nationalism. Second wave of nationalism. This was also guided by capitalists only. Now earlier the traders were successful were successful in using the tool of nationalism to change political equilibrium, political structure, and economic structure also. How political structure changed? The power of the feudal and the church was transferred to the king, and how economic structure was changed, that everybody left farming and started going to factories. So because of this nationalism only, this nationalism के वजह से ही न्यू पॉलिटिकल स्ट्रक्चर में चेंज आया और इकोनॉमिक स्ट्रक्चर में भी चेंज आया। ठीक है, इतना तो समझ गए ना कि इसी नेशनलिज्म की वजह से स्टेट डेवलप हुआ है। तो हम नेशन स्टेट कहेंगे या स्टेट नेशन? वी विल से नेशन स्टेट या स्टेट नेशन। यूरोपियंस वेर स्टेट और विदेवर क्या था? नेशन स्टेट, क्योंकि फीलिंग ऑफ नेशनलिज्म लाया गया, उसकी वजह से स्टेट क्रिएट हुआ। स्टेट क्रिएट होने का मतलब क्या है? टेरिटरी को फिक्स करना, पीपल को फिक्स करना, गवर्नमेंट को फिक्स करना, सोवेरेनिटी को फिक्स करना। ये चारों इसी नेशनलिस्ट स्ट्रगल और नेशनलिस्ट रिवॉल्यूशन से हुआ। ठीक है, ये फर्स्ट वेव में ये सब हुआ। फर्स्ट वेव में नेशनलिज्म का मतलब था कि फ्यूडल्स के खिलाफ रिवॉल्ट करना, चर्च के खिलाफ रिवॉल्ट करना, है कि नहीं, और इंडस्ट्रीज में काम करने का अधिकार मांगना, है कि नहीं। तो ये सारी बातें, और राजा को पावरफुल बनाना ताकि रिटर्न में राजा कम्युनिटी को प्रोटेक्ट करे, पूरा टेरिटरी को फिक्स करे, राइट, और बाकी राजाओं से आपको बचाए, आक्रमण से बचाए। तो अब यहाँ पर क्या है? तो एक वॉर भी एक बहुत बड़ा रीजन था जिसकी वजह से ये नेशनलिज्म की फीलिंग इनके अंदर में आ गई। क्योंकि जब इसने कहा कि इस नेशनलिज्म से किंग को पावरफुल बनाना है, तो आप अपने किंग को पावरफुल बनाएंगे, दूसरा जो है वो अपने किंग को पावरफुल बनाएगा। तो अगर इस किंग को आपको प्रोटेक्ट करना है और गारंटी देना है कि इस लैंड पे सिर्फ तुम ही रहोगे और कोई और नहीं रहेगा, समझ रहे हो मेरी बात को? ये डील हुआ था ना। कैपिटलिस्ट ने क्या समझाया कि अगर फ्यूडल्स को हटा दोगे, so if you change the political structure and the economic structure, then what will happen? If you change the political, then the king will become absolute powerful. And if king will become absolute powerful, he will guarantee what? Guarantee your land and guarantee your community, society and culture. He will protect your land, he will protect your people, he will protect your culture. That means he will protect you from other king. Your land will not be taken by other king. Your community will not be will go and join with other community. Your culture will also not. समझ रहे हो मेरी बात को? आ रहा है समझ में? एब्सोल्यूट पावरफुल अगर किंग को बना दिया तो बदले में किंग आपकी जमीन की रक्षा करेगा, आपके लोगों की रक्षा करेगा, आपकी सोसाइटी की रक्षा करेगा, आपकी कल्चर की रक्षा करेगा, और आपको ये गारंटी दे रहा है कि आपके कम्युनिटी को डाइल्यूट नहीं होने देगा। आपके लैंड पर किसी और राजा का, किसी और कम्युनिटी का कंट्रोल नहीं होगा, कब्जा नहीं होगा। जैसे मोदी जी हमें बार बार ये गारंटी देते हैं कि पाकिस्तान हम पे अटैक नहीं करेगा, हम पाकिस्तान के की हमारा कल्चर पाकिस्तान के कल्चर से मिक्स नहीं होगा। और अगर पाकिस्तान ने अटैक कर दिया तो ये लैंड पाकिस्तान का हो जाएगा। हमें पाकिस्तान के लोगों के साथ रहना पड़ेगा, उनके कल्चर को अपनाना पड़ेगा, हमारी कम्युनिटी डाइल्यूट हो जाएगी। तो हमारा लैंड, हमारा कल्चर, हमारी कम्युनिटी, हमारी भाषा, हमारी लैंग्वेज, ये सब होमोजोनस होगा, ये सब प्रोटेक्टेड होगा। यहां कोई और आके नहीं रहेगा, यहां हम सब ही रहेंगे। ये लैंड कभी भी पाकिस्तान का नहीं होगा, पाकिस्तान के लोग कभी भी यहां आके नहीं रहेंगे। तो ये सारा फीलिंग ट्रेडर क्लास ने इनके मन में भर दिया कि राजा आपको इस बात की गारंटी देगा, और आपका भी ये फर्ज बनता है कि आप राजा को और पावरफुल बनाओ। सो ही कन्विंस्ड दीज पीपल टू फाइट अगेंस्ट द अदर किंग। सो दैट्स व्हाई नाउ दे आर रेडी टू फाइट, दे आर रेडी now when they are fighting, they are not fighting just for the king, they are also fighting for their land, they are also fighting to protect their community, to protect their culture. Am I clear? ये लोग पहले भी राजा के लिए लड़ते थे, लेकिन सिर्फ राजा के लिए लड़ते थे, अपने लैंड के लिए, अपने लोगों को बचाने के लिए, अपने कल्चर के लिए नहीं लड़ते थे। लेकिन अब जब ये लड़ेंगे, ठीक है, किंग जब एब्सोल्युटली पावरफुल हो गया तो जाहिर सी बात है कि बाकी जगह में भी किंग ने ये गारंटी दी होगी अपने लोगों को। अगर फ्रांस का राजा अपने लोगों के मन में ये फीलिंग भर रहा है तो इंग्लैंड का भी राजा अपने लोगों के मन में ये फीलिंग भर रहा होगा। तो ऑब्वियसली जो है वो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स और वॉर्स ज्यादा होंगे, और जितना ज्यादा वॉर होगा इस बात को लेकर के कि हमें स्टेट, अब वॉर किसके लिए हो रहा है? स्टेट को प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए हो रहा है, टेरिटरी को प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए हो रहा है। पहले वॉर क्यों होता था? टेरिटरी को एक्सपैंड करने के लिए होता था। अब वॉर क्यों हो रहा है? टेरिटरी को प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए हो रहा है। तो वॉर में जो लॉयल्टी है वो दोगुनी हो जाएगी, इट विल डबल। और इस वॉर से नेशनलिज्म की फीलिंग आएगी, पहले वाले वॉर से नहीं आ रही थी। जब चर्च स्टेट में वॉर होता था तो लोग राजा के लिए लड़ते थे, अपने जमीन, अपने लोगों, अपनी संस्कृति के लिए नहीं लड़ते थे। लेकिन जब से किंग एब्सोल्युटली पावरफुल हुआ है और किंग ने गारंटी दी है कि आपका लैंड कोई पाकिस्तानी नहीं ले जाएगा, आपकी कम्युनिटी को कोई टेक नहीं करेगा, आपके कल्चर को कोई खतरा नहीं पहुंचाएगा, हम हैं यहां पे, तो अब जो जनता है वो लड़ने के लिए उत्साहित होगी, वो सेक्रीफाइस का फीलिंग बढ़ जाएगा। और यहीं से आता है फीलिंग ऑफ पैट्रियोटिज्म, कि लोग अपने लैंड को, कम्युनिटी को और कल्चर को प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए, है कि नहीं, सेल्फलेस सर्विस देने के लिए तैयार है, सेक्रीफाइस कुछ भी करने के लिए तैयार है। बदले में उनको कोई पॉलिटिकल पावर नहीं चाहिए। लेकिन चर्च स्टेट में जो लोग राजा के लिए लड़ते थे, क्या हम उनको पैट्रियोटिक कह सकते थे? क्या हम उनको पैट्रियोटिक कह सकते हैं? जो चर्च स्टेट में राजा के लिए लड़ रहे हैं, वो राजा के लिए लड़ रहे हैं, वो नौकर बन के लड़ रहा है, स्लेव वाली मेंटेलिटी है, स्लेव लॉयल्टी है। वहां वो अपने जमीन के लिए नहीं लड़ रहा, अपने कल्चर के लिए नहीं लड़ रहा, अपने कम्युनिटी के लिए नहीं लड़ रहा है, ठीक है। तो वो पैट्रियोटिज्म कभी हो ही नहीं सकता है। तो फर्स्ट वेव ऑफ नेशनलिज्म ने फर्स्ट वेव ऑफ पैट्रियोटिज्म भी लाया, जब आप अपने लोगों के लिए, अपने जमीन के लिए, अपनी संस्कृति के लिए, और ये सबसे कॉन्सेप्ट आया जिसको हम क्या कहते हैं, नेशन। लड़ने का एक उसको अपना इंडिविजुअल मकसद मिल गया, एक इंडिविजुअल गोल आ गया वॉर में, युद्ध में। पहले युद्ध में कोई इंडिविजुअल गोल नहीं था, राइट? प्लीज टेल, आर यू एंजॉइंग दिस फर्स्ट वेव ऑफ नेशनलिज्म? टेल मी, मिस्टर गिरीश, रौनक, अनिकेत, जयश्री, सेकंड वेव ऑफ नेशनलिज्म क्या है? ठीक है, this is first wave of nationalism was against feudalism and church. Second wave of nationalism is against who will answer this? Who will answer this? Very good, it was against king, against the absolute king, one who in the name of protecting you actually deprived you of all the liberty, right? So now king started committing atrocities and the traders became more ambitious. So these traders, who was mainly responsible for making the king powerful, now these traders became ambitious, and now they also wanted the share in the power. So this, now what they will do, now they will motivate people to fight against to revolt against whom? Revolt against the king for political rights, not just for property rights, for political rights, that everybody, for equality, for liberty, right? So traders do not want direct control on the politics, but traders want that their representation should be also in the politics. So this representative politics, so this second wave of nationalism was basically, इसका गोल क्या था? रिप्रेजेंटेटिव पॉलिटिक्स. द गोल ऑफ सेकेंड वेव ऑफ नेशनलिज्म was representative politics. ठीक है, which gave birth to you can say democracy or constitutional monarchy or constitutionalism. So nationalism led to constitutionalism, that king should not enjoy all powers, king should have the limited powers, and political power should be represented by all the sections. So basically they were fighting for constitutionalism, they were fighting for democracy. This was the second wave of nationalism, which was more about freedom of speech and expression, and this only led to the French Revolution. So French Revolution is the consequence of, or it is the manifestation of second wave of nationalism. Very good. Puritan Revolution, you can say. Puritan Revolution. Puritan Revolution. Puritan Revolution is and 100 years of war in Europe. This brought first wave of nationalism. Puritan Revolution is manifestation of second wave of nationalism. ठीक है. अब इस प्यूरिटन रिवॉल्यूशन में जो रोल था वो किसका था? हाँ, डायरेक्ट रोल ट्रेडर्स का नहीं था, यहाँ रोल किसका था? रोल ऑफ इंटेलेक्चुअल्स था। इंटेलेक्चुअल्स who were sponsored by traders, who were sponsored by capitalists, sponsored by capitalists like John Locke. So John Locke will basically focus on the second wave of nationalism. Will focus on the second wave of nationalism. Hobbes will focus on the first wave of nationalism. Machiavelli also will come in the first wave of nationalism only. आज के लिए समझ में आया ये टॉपिक? टेल मी. रूसो कहां से आ गया? रूसो तो नेशनलिज्म मानता ही नहीं, वो तो पैट्रियटिज्म मानता था, वो तो जनरल विल मानता था. रूसो का कोई लेना देना नहीं है इससे. ठीक है, टुडे कैन वी फिनिश इट हियर? So, but first wave and second wave of nationalism, they both were motivated by classical liberalism. Traders, intellectuals, second wave of nationalism. हाँ, सही कह रहे हो. रूसो बेसिकली द टीचिंग्स ऑफ रूसो in fact motivated the French Revolution. So yes, you are correct. Sorry, I couldn't understand that in what context you are saying, Ronak. I'm really sorry. Traders का क्या हो जाएगा? First wave of nationalism. So first wave of nationalism gave you absolute power to king, absolute sovereignty, you can say. And second wave of nationalism gave you कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनलिज्म एंड डेमोक्रेसी. सो सोवेरेनिटी पहले आया या फिर है जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनलिज्म पहले आया? ऑफ कोर्स सोवेरेनिटी पहले आई. वेयर डज हॉब्स प्लेस इन बिटवीन फर्स्ट एंड सेकंड? इनफैक्ट हॉब्स विल कम इन द फर्स्ट बिकॉज हॉब्स आल्सो फोकस्ड ऑन एब्सोल्यूट सोवेरेनिटी. हॉब्स आल्सो फोकस्ड ऑन एब्सोल्यूट सोवेरेनिटी. Hobbes also focused on absolute sovereignty. Is it right? So second wave of nationalism focuses on limiting the powers of the king. And first wave of nationalism focuses on increasing the powers of the king. So the traders who earlier motivated the people to fight against the feudals and the church to make the king powerful, the same traders sponsored the intellectuals to motivate the common mass against the king. Right? So before second wave of nationalism, which came, second wave of nationalism came after 1688. So before 1688 और ट्रेडर वाला नेशनलिज्म कब था? 14th century to 17th century. इसी बीच में क्या आता है? ट्रीटी ऑफ वेस्टफालिया. ट्रीटी ऑफ वेस्टफालिया. So that's why you can write that first wave of nationalism, Treaty of Westphalia, is between first and second wave of nationalism. This is a Treaty of Westphalia, which formally gave birth to nation state, right? This is 1648. This is first wave of nationalism, and this gave birth to absolute king. absolute power to the king. Example, example can you give? In France, there was Louis 16, Louis 10, 16. In England, there was a Tudor dynasty, है कि नहीं? And in फ्रांस में फिर बॉर्बन डायनेस्टी. So all these became very powerful during the first wave of nationalism. Which scholars will come here? Machiavelli and Hobbes, Treaty of Westphalia. So this nationalism created state which is known as nation state, and this is second wave of nationalism. इसके एग्जाम्पल्स क्या हो जाएंगे? Second wave of French Revolution, end of Louis 16 rule, and Puritan Revolution in England, जिसमें किंग जेम्स भाग गया. और इसमें स्कॉलर्स कौन है? जॉन लॉक. ठीक है. So rest of them we will cover tomorrow. कैसा लग रहा है? Hope you all are becoming, things are becoming clear in your mind or not? Things are becoming clear or not? Yes, what is your question, Jayshree? What is your question? I couldn't, sir. Can you extend class timing? It is a request. Extend means 2 hours class. Means what is the timing you want? Can we make glorious revolution was result of second wave? Correct. प्यूरिटन था या फिर ग्लोरियस था? सॉरी, इट इज नॉट प्यूरिटन, इट इज ग्लोरियस रिवॉल्यूशन. और प्यूरिटन नहीं, प्यूरिटन ही था ना. प्यूरिटन रिवॉल्यूशन, सॉरी, प्यूरिटन रिवॉल्यूशन जो 1688 में. प्यूरिटन. Can you answer my question? What anything else suits you? Class timing, any issue? What is any issue with the class timing? Means I was planning to do it little bit earlier. Little bit earlier we can do. Acha, you want 2 hours class? Okay. ठीक है. Okay. We will listen your request. We will consider your request. But last time only I discussed that some problem with my eye. That's why I am not taking long durations of class. But I will try definitely from tomorrow. 6 to 8 can we keep? 6 to 8.